So last night I took an Uber to this hotel. And the Uber driver was asking me like, "Oh, well, are you in school, working, whatever?" I told him I'm a communist, and we start talking more. He tells me he's going to school for political science, and he says he doesn't know about Marxism Leninism, but he's very interested in ecological Marxism. And so over the course of the conversation, I explained to him that ecological Marxism is not any separate ideology itself. It's just a part. It's just one part of an understanding of the modern struggles we face as Marxists, as communists. I told him that Marxism and Leninism, as we know, is the one proven successful ideology that's proven to be able to, by using this social science of Marxism Leninism, not only once but very many times, it's been reproducible. No matter what country you in, when you use Marxism Leninism, it's the real social science of organizing the people, creating the revolution, and taking control of the state as the masses of the working class. And so, I told him like you really should study Marxism Leninism because ecological Marxism, because he's explaining it to me at first. I've heard of it before, but I wanted to hear his understanding of it. He says it's basically understanding the fact that if we don't stop capitalism soon, then our planet is gonna die. We're gonna ruin our planet. And like I said, I tell him I'm like, yeah, this is true, and this is an understanding that Marxist Leninists have. And every Marxist Leninist or every Marxist in general should be a ecological Marxist. And so I wanted to also use this opportunity to bring attention to the fact that when Marx originally started Marxism, and 100 years, and then 100 years ago with Lenin, and Stalin and Mao, whenever these revolutions were happening and Marxism Leninism was being developed, then it wasn't as urgent um, in regards to our environment. In Marxism, we know that there's evolution and there's revolution. Marxism studies the contradicting forces, social forces in history and how it develops, through different phases. And throughout time, society naturally evolves, but the thing that actually changes, makes a definite change in the social and economic order of a society is a revolution. With evolution, we don't. It could take hundreds, maybe thousands of years for society to evolve to a better form of society. But with revolution, whenever the masses, that means the majority of people who in class society, which we've had for thousands of years, where the ruling class, a small select few at the top, basically control the lives of everybody else. Whenever these masses, the majority, consciously come aware of their circumstances and then use science to try to change those circumstances, and through trial and error eventually create a revolution and take back control. And this is when we have a change in the social and economic order of things. um, the thing is, we cannot wait for society to naturally evolve at this point. E- e- you know 100 years ago, the main message of Marxism and Marxism Leninism was we need to liberate the people, the workers. The workers shouldn't have to sell themselves as slaves and give up most of the value they create with their labor. Because when you work for a boss, you're making hundreds, maybe thousands or more dollars an hour for your boss, but you're only getting paid enough to survive because the worker is a commodity for sale. The worker is a part of the production process, a piece of the production process that is just bought and used and is upkept by making sure this part of the production process, this part of the machine, the human worker, is fed, at least adequately fed, and has a place to sleep usually. Basically meet the organism's basic needs, and this organism can continue to work to serve this production process in the system. And so, Marxism argues those workers are entitled to all the wealth they create, and if they take control of the state, they can democratically decide what they want to collectively do with that wealth, and how much they want to put back into society, how much they want to keep for their individual selves, and all that. And they can decide that by organizing all the different sectors of labor and having a working class democracy. There's a difference between what they call bourgeois democracy and proletarian democracy, or the dictatorship of the bourgeoisie and the dictatorship of the proletariat. Class society is always the dictatorship of one class over another. So the goal of Marxism Leninism is to have that majority class, the workers class, because the majority of people in the country are the workers, have them take control of the government and have a one party system, which is a working class party, which decides those things. Instead of just having people who own the workers and own everything, just decide everything for themselves, that small percent. So this is the main argument of Marxism Leninism, the main argument of Marxism itself. But now, in this day and age, with capitalism taken to such an extreme and such big development in technology, so that we're really taking so many resources out of the planet, creating so much waste and destroying our environment in the process. And that is mainly because with capitalism, the rich do whatever is most profitable. In capitalism, you don't have a whole society coming together and voting on what kind of practices they want to have, when dealing with the environment and these resources. So it's usually some rich guy sitting at a desk saying, I don't care if I damage the environment, I'm trying to make some money. And we have regulations to stop that, but the regulations are not enough. And the regulations often end up getting taken back, or like I said, they don't go far enough because the capitalists have pretty much control over our whole government. I wrote a book about it, State Capitalism. If you look it up on Amazon, my book State Capitalism by Austin Samargo, so check it out. But anyways, the point is, if we do not have a successful revolution in a lot of these very big capitalist nations, who by allowing these rich people to destroy our environment continuously, if we don't have a revolution soon, our planet could not be sustainable for too much longer. And so that's where ecological Marxism comes in. And I don't see ecological Marxism as a separate ideology from Marxism itself. And that's what I explained to this Uber driver yesterday. It's something that any Marxist should agree with. It's very obvious. And so it's basically just one understanding within modern day Marxism. There was one more thing I wanted to say here. It's not coming to me right now though, so I guess it not must not be that important. But thank you if you listen to all this. I hope everyone has a great day.